Hi, my name is Velvet Curse and welcome to Let's Play Niche Survivor's Cove. Last time we had a few children born and managed to get quite a lot of food for our supplies. So it might be a good idea for us to start looking at moving on to a new island now, because if we stay on the same island for too long we're going to run into the problem of all of our creatures becoming related because we'll run out of new creatures to find. I would still like to go up north and look at this little grassy knoll out here to check if there's anything there before we move on, but that will give us time to get a little bit more food and then we'll be able to move on after that. So first we had little Izanako here who's getting quite old and she's currently pregnant and on the nest. So as we skip the day we should find and see what her new baby looks like. So her new baby has full eyesight in both of her slots, which is quite good because as we noticed last time we were getting short-sighted eyes into quite a lot of the creatures. So she has the two different paws and she has good immunity genes and good fertility as well, so she's really good. She has the big body and carries the spiky body, so she is actually one that doesn't have the spiky body showing on her, which is also quite good because we were getting quite a lot of them with spiky body. She actually looks quite a lot like little Maya down here, but she doesn't have quite as dark fur. Maya's a little bit more chocolate, and she also has the big body, so she's going to be quite a bit bigger than Maya when she grows up. So if we give her a new name, what should we call her? She looks a little bit like Maya. Let's go a little bit opposite in that case and call her Desert, if I can actually spell it correctly. So her new name is Desert and we'll be able to see if we can get her a mate a little bit later on. So let's have a look. We had Island Immunity Gene and A, so if we have any males down here he has Island Immunity, so he wouldn't be very good to be mated with her. And Adrian actually has G and B, but Adrian already had a mate because he had the little pink spot. So we had, he was Maya's mate, so we can't use him. How about Taku? So Taku is actually over here looking for his own mate, but he has the B and the G genes, so he wouldn't actually be a bad match for Desert. So he can still continue to look for any wandering creatures we might have over here in this grass, because he's got a little bit of time before she grows up. But when she does grow up I think we'll breed them together because they would be quite a good match. So if we look, we already put the eyesight into his genetics so that he wouldn't hopefully pass on this short-sighted eyes. He has quite good genes overall otherwise. So let's have a little look what we have on our mutation menu that we could possibly give him. We haven't really unlocked a whole lot as of yet, so if we just pop the mask onto his genes so that we can hopefully get a little bit more of the markings into the genes. So we'll continue going a little bit further up with Coco and having a look in some of this grass. She hasn't found much as of yet, and of course we had our little creature Ducro down here, our little blind wanderer, who we decided not to invite on a permanent basis, but he's still hanging around. He's probably having a chat with our creatures while he's sat there. So we can move some of the grass with Izanako. She can protect her baby. We haven't seen it yet, but the blue hawks that abducted Adam at the very beginning of the game in the cutscene can also make an appearance and probably will do a bit later on. And if you don't have an adult creature adjacent to your newborns, they can snatch them and take them away like they did with Adam in the cutscene at the beginning. So it's not a problem right now, and Izanako doesn't have to stay there, but it's good practice to just start leaving mothers over or adjacent to the babies to get them used to get you used to doing that for later on. So Nunaduke can have a little look in some of this grass down here with his remaining turns, and then we can have Dooku pick up some more of these acorns as he likes to do. And how old is Maya getting? Reem getting? Reem is okay. Dooku is getting a little bit old now. He only has 4 days remaining, so I think I'll have him have one remaining baby with Reem, mainly because she was the wandering creature that we found, so she had entirely new genetics to bring into our group. So I would like to have her have another baby with her mate before he passes away and isn't able to do that anymore. So if we move him back down here towards his tree so that he can get more nuts later on, as he likes to do. And then Flame over here can pick up the nuts that his uncle can't get to, and can also pick up the berries from down here. He still has a turn left, so we'll dig, even though he's not really able to do the dig because he doesn't have Digger Paw. That again gets us more points towards unlocking more of the genetics. So Maya is old enough to breed now, but her partner Adrian is not, so she can't have a baby just yet. So for now we'll have her gather a little bit more food and pick up some of this grass, and we'll unearth Adrian so that we can actually see him pick up more of the grass there. And Taku can carry on this way for one last turn, but I would like to start sending him back the other way to his new mate very shortly. So that's all of the turns, all of the creature's energy for this turn. We can see our little wanderer, now that he can actually see and has other creatures around him, he's moved. But that's okay, he can stay with our creatures. As said before, we're not going to attack him or get rid of him in any way. We don't really mind him hanging around. And he can't breed with our females even if he wanted to, because he's infertile, so that's not a big issue either. So if we move Izanako out of the nest between these two berry bushes so that she can pick up all of the berries around here, and Coco can carry on up here, and let's have a little bit of a sniff. No, nothing to see really, and a listen doesn't really provide as much information either, so if she clears a little bit more grass so that she can get a little bit further up there. We'll have Desert move just one space out of the nest just in case we need to use it, and Nunaduke can uncover some of the grass around here. Oh, we have another permanent nest there that we didn't see before. So Dooku can get his acorns as usual, and he can shove the tree and knock more down so that he can get more next turn. So we're doing quite good with food now, which is always a good thing when we're planning on moving to a new island very shortly, because we don't know what the food situation on the new island will be like as soon as we get there. We might have to hunt round a little bit first before we can find any more food. So Taku can get this bunny while he's here, and then he can get one more piece of grass. It doesn't seem like there's going to be anything along here, so we'll have a little bit of a sniff and a listen. There's bunnies and moles, but there doesn't seem to be any other creatures that we can invite into our group. So one of the decisions that we have to make is, when we do decide to move on, do we want to go to the west or do we want to go to the east? Now, since most of our creatures are going to be moving up here to these nests, I would say it's probably better for us to go to the east. Oh, and I've just noticed that Taku's picked up a leech, so if we have little Maya move down here, she can remove the leech from him so that he doesn't get injured by that leech, and then she can actually move back because Adrian has grown up. So as soon as Reem and her little baby, her new baby, get out of the nest, then they will be able to have their own baby. But what we also need to think about is, how many creatures can we take with us? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we can only take 10 creatures with us. We currently have 11, but it is quite likely that a couple of our creatures are going to pass on before we move. So Dooku probably won't have enough time to come with us because he only has 3 days remaining. And Izanako definitely will not have enough time to come with us because this is her last day, sadly. I Oh, and Coco as well, of course, because they are twins, so this is also Coco's last day. So we were okay to have a baby with Adrian and his new partner before we move on, because we will have enough spaces to take them with us. So Adrian for now can actually pick up from these berry bushes so that we have as much food as possible, and Reem can move out of the nest, and she can actually start making her way up here, because if we're going to go to the west, then she's going to need to be up here anyway, and we don't really need her to have another baby before she moves on, so she can go over here and start clearing some of this grass so that it's easier for the rest of our creatures to get over here when we want that. So Flame for now can pick up the berries and the nuts that he can get to, and can, oh, he actually dug up the root this time, so we got a little bit of extra food there from him. And then, yeah, I believe that is all of our creatures' turns, so we can pass the day again. And there we go. Sadly, our two twins have now passed on, but they did do a lot of exploring and populate our creatures out a little bit more while they were alive, so they did quite well for themselves. And we can have Ismay. We never actually did have a look at Ismay's genes, so let's do that now. So she's got really good fertility, she's got 2 different immunity genes, she's got the 2 different paws and the large body again, so we don't really have to worry about any of her genes because she has the full eyesight as well, and also carries the poison fangs. So we'll have a look a little bit later on about popping something into her mutation menu once we've found a mate for her, but we might want to rename her. She actually should have maybe been called Desert because she kind of looks like sand, but never mind. So her parents were Reem and Dooku, so I think I will call her Duchess. So she now has her new name Duchess, and we will pop her out of the nest. She can't go very far because she is only a tiny baby, but we didn't need her to go far, we just needed enough for Maya and Adrian to have their first baby. So that breeding actually failed. Of course, Maya has one of the infertility slots. Maybe it's a good thing it failed because I haven't put any mutation genes on her. So let's pop full eyes onto her because we know she has the short-sighted eyes. Other than that, she actually isn't too bad apart from her infertility there. We could give her low fertility, but that might overwrite her high fertility in the other slot, so we don't really want to do that. So we now have nimble fingers. We could give her nimble fingers, but she does already carry them with the runner leg. So let's see, what else do we have? She might produce stripes anyway because Adrian has the stripes, so again we'll just put the mask in her other slot and see if we can get any little masked babies. So Adrian is quite good in all of his genes really, we don't need to worry too much about him. So there's not much, I'll just leave his genes open for now in case we want to put something in there a bit later on. So now that we've actually done that this time, we will attempt to breed again, and it worked this time, so that's good. So Maya actually has 2 turns, so we'll pop her into this nest and pick up some berries so that we have a little bit more food. And then Adrian can pick up his berries. He could have got them all, but never mind. And Taku, we want him to start making his way back over here so that he is closer to his new mate Desert. So we'll have him hop over here and grab the mole, just because we get quite a lot from mole meat, but he has started making his way back over this way. We gave him the yellow gem, so we can now also give Desert his new mate the yellow gem in the first slot so that we don't forget to do that later on. and she didn't really have any particularly bad genes, so we don't have to worry about her mutation menu. And he had the short-sighted eyes, so we already gave him his mutation menu genes, so we don't need to worry about him either. So for now, Reem again can uncover more of this grass so that we can actually see to get down there, and we don't have anybody picking up from this berry bush now, so we'll move Desert over to pick up these berries while she's waiting for her mate to catch up. So Nunu Duke is still hanging out around here. If we move him over a little bit, and we'll just have a bit of a sniff and a listen to see if there's anything around. We can see some moles and some bunnies up there, but nothing particularly scary, so no carnivores as of yet. Now Flame is quite fast, so I'm not too worried about moving Flame up too quickly because he'll be able to catch up, so he's okay staying by his berry bush and picking up all of these berries while we've got the rain to replenish them. He can get the nuts as well. Dooku may actually not be coming with us because he's only got 2 days remaining on his life, and he really likes the nuts from this tree, so I think it would be quite fitting if he passed away under the tree that he spent his whole life collecting from to provide for his family. So he can stay right where he is for now and just pick up more food, and he's quite happy to be there. So we'll skip another day and see what little Maya's baby looks like. Oh, we have spots. So she's got huge pattern, which gives her very big spots. As you can see, they're basically patches instead of spots. She has the pattern shape C, she has dots and not stripes, we can tell that anyway. She's got good immunity genes and good fertility, she has good eyesight. She got her mother's lean body, which is not the best unless we go to the desert. It does give her heat resistance, scentlessness and stealth as well, but overall it doesn't do us a lot of good, but it does make her a little bit faster. It gives her 2 speed, so there's not that much to worry about there. So we need to give her a name. What do we want to call her? She kind of looks like she's been playing in the mud and got mud splattered all over her. What would we like to call her? Her parents are Maya and Adrian. Swamp is coming to mind, but that doesn't sound like a very nice name for our little female, so I don't really want to use that. I'm not very good at thinking up names quickly, so if anybody wants to suggest some names in the comments that I can use for future creatures when they're born, that would be really helpful. I can always take some suggestions down and use them to make this process a little bit quicker. For now we'll call her Dottie because she is the first one to be born with spots, so there's no reason that we can't call her after her markings. So she's quite cute. She's the first one with spots. I don't think she actually has the mask, I'm not too sure. Let's have a look. No, she doesn't actually have the masks, she just has beige pattern, and the dots are that big it makes it look like she's got a little chocolate mask over her eyes, but she doesn't actually show the mask. So Taku needs to continue to make his way over here to his new mate, so we will just move him up so that he's not left behind because I don't want him over there too long. Now Duchess, can we mate Duchess and Flame possibly? So Duchess has F and A and Flame has I and home immunity, so they would actually be a really good pair. Now I believe that we have used all of the first dots, different colours now, so we'll now go to changing the second dots over. So Flame and Duchess can have a second orange gem, which actually suits for Flame. I think the orange quite suits on him, and that will give us a new breeding pair for a little bit later on once Duchess has grown up a little bit more. But for now, if we move her just up here so that she can clear a little bit of that grass, it probably won't do us any good, but you never know what you might find. So Dooku, is this his last day? This is his last day, so this is the last time he'll be able to collect acorns from his favourite tree. I'm sure that you can hear that. That is my cat Tori coming to say hello and introduce herself onto this Let's Play, so she's quite loud, sorry about that. Come on. Yes, alright, don't bang into the microphone because then everybody will be able to hear you doing that. Okay, sorry about that. She's a Bengal leopard cat. She's quite loud. So we will move Maya just one step away from her little baby and have her pick up some of these berries from this bush, and we'll have Flame pick up the berries from this bush, and then I think it's about time we started moving everybody up towards this teleportation so that we can get off this island and move on. So if we pick up the creatures who are already up here can provide us with a little bit more food, and Reem can continue to clear the path to be able to get us over here more quickly, and then Nunu Duke can actually come across now and help Reem out so that we do actually have a path uncovered to get onto these teleportation pads now. And oh, Flame had one last turn to spend, so he can actually attempt to dig. He was not able to, but that's fine. Maya, I would like to leave where she is really just to stay with her baby so her baby is not left on its own, but Adrian can start moving up here as well, so he can come over here and clear some of this grass so we can see a little bit better. Now that is our last turn for this day, and I believe that's a good place to leave it. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Please leave a like and a comment. If you want to see more from our Survivors Cove niche game, please subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter, which is @VelvetCurse, for reminders when new videos will be uploaded. Thank you for watching, and farewell for now.